ready?
Ready?
Am I ready?
Are you ready?
Thank you. Good evening, Litchfield. Today's Wednesday, January 31st. Welcome to the Economic Development Committee meeting. Why don't we call the meeting to order at 6:30 p.m., actually 6:34. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great. Thank you very much. So, why don't we just, for people who may not know us, hi. Why don't we go around the table and introduce ourselves?
Peter Ames, Chair of the Litchfield Recreation Commission.
Jimmy Robitaille, Planning Board Member.
Jay Mankara, National Regional Planning Commission.
Kimberly Queenan, Selectman's Rep.
Kim Kleiner, Town Administrator.
Great. All right, so public input. I will wait till 6:45. And we'll have that start when we can. All right, so on the business today, we had approval of the minutes for October 25th, 2023, November 29th, 2023, and December 28th, 2023. So, member Laura Gandhi is not with us tonight. She's not feeling well, so we cannot approve. She had some questions on November 29th, and I think also on October 25th. So we don't have a discussion on that. As far as December 28th, only Peter and myself were here that are voting members, so we couldn't vote on them tonight anyway. So how are you doing out there who took all the minutes? We appreciate it. Well, you have to do tonight anyway, so it should be. So that's, we'll have to postpone those. Do we need a vote?
Do you want to do a motion to go ahead and move it to the next one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll raise a
So,
motion to go ahead and move all three of those minutes approvals to our next meeting.
Second.
all right. Let's have a vote on that. The yays, how many say yay to moving it?
Aye.
3, aye. No? Abstain, so motion passes 3-0-0. All right, so next steps. We were going to talk about our community outreach survey that we had worked on last time. My notes, from what I remembered, we looked at Jeremy, you had provided one from before, and we looked at another town. And my notes, and I don't, we can look at the draft here, was we were going to take Jeremy's survey, questions 1, 2, and 3. And then we were going to take the other one that was the draft and use questions 4, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I just want to make sure that that draft says that. And then if we, we'll have a discussion on the survey. And that what that survey is that's our first reach out to the public to get a gauge on what they believe economic development should be for the town at a very high level. And we probably will have more surveys after that. And then if we do get through the survey discussion today, we maybe want to bless it, we don't know yet, how would we implement it going out to the public would be the next discussion.
Okay.
So, why don't we take a look in the portal here? And there were 2 that we were looking at last week. Let me go in there. Okay, I'm gonna go by all the minutes. The 2 surveys, so. Do you want to call them up, or do we want to just look at the draft at this point? I'll call up all 3. It's a kind of a workshop anyway. All right, so I'm going to call all 3 up. Do you all see them in the portal?
Yep.
And then I'll also call up the draft. We're merging them. Who actually submitted this draft? Anybody here? Is it you?
No, Mr. and Mrs.
The Planskys.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Yeah.
I checked my email this morning, but I didn't see anything about that. Okay, perfect. Saw a lot of emails from Miss Kleiner over there. Okay. All right, so we want to go over, let's look at, I just got to get them lined up in here. 1, 2, and 3. All right, so I'm looking at Jeremy's from November 28th, right? So 1, 2, and 3. Just gonna make sure, strongly agree, no opinion, disagree, they look okay, yeah? So the question was, are you in favor of economic development in town, and select an option?
Yep.
Whether they strongly agree, no opinion, and so on. So that looks good. The second question was, what made you move to Litchfield? Okay, so what was your logic coming here? In your opinion, has Litchfield moved in a positive direction since you've moved in town? Okay, so that is not there, right? So
No,
just
we
what
we
made you
seem to
move?
grab 1, 2, and 6 off
Okay,
mine,
so
I
let me
believe.
look at 3. All right, not sure where that, let me get number 6. So Jeremy, when you were absent last time, we did take what you had, but we were trying not to, sway the public. We had some discussion on that, which of course we would, so.
Yep.
All right, so, let me just make sure. So the third question on the draft is, what is most important to you regarding economic development? Please rank your top 3 items that are most important. So we have a list here, and we also have, A through A, and then we have J for other, if they wanted to fill one in.
Sounds good.
Okay, so I'm gonna close out that one, and I'm gonna go back to the one that has the pop-up boxes that we went through all of those. All right, let's go see how that looks like. Number 4. What type of businesses would you like to see move into Litchfield was question 4, and we have a series of selections there, and of course, other. So we have small business, office, light manufacturing, farmers market, restaurants, small-scale shops, other. All right, number 5, based on your earlier answers, what do you feel is the single most needed thing for Litchfield to promote economic development? And that's an open-ended question. Then there will be looked at. Number 6, where do you feel the best areas in town are to develop non-residential expansions? Select an option, or they can fill in other. Number 7, what is your connection to the town of Litchfield? Check all that apply. Do you live here, work here, visit here, etc.? Would you be interested in serving in a focus group to discuss future development? And if you are, you fill in your name and email address. And number 9, would you be interested in receiving future updates on economic development activities, activity events in Litchfields? Activities and events, excuse me, and your name and email. So, is it 6:45 yet? I'm gonna
Close.
bring you up, and it's only because we have somebody in the audience who might want to be joining us on a regular basis. So, okay, we'll have her come up. All right, are we okay with the merger of these, or do you have other things you want to, Peter looks like he's questioning something. I had 1, 2, and 3, I don't know where 6, it don't look like it went to 6, but. Want to add something?
I'm just trying to mold it all together
I
in my
know,
mind.
it's a lot. I should have printed hard copies. That probably would have been a better work session, but,
I think we captured most of the overlap. My interests really were actually about, in some of the questions, making sure recreational facilities were more singularly called out. I'm not sure that they all ended up in those questions. So for example,
yeah.
Number 3 in this draft had recreational opportunities, which I don't think is really quite the same as recreational facilities. Because activities could be an event or a club or something like that, and that's not quite, I think, is what we're trying to get at as much.
What number was that one?
It was number 3 in this one, so I'm not sure if it made it over. It sounds like it did.
Yeah, it didn't
perhaps.
sound like 3 did. I had 3 as a note to come over. Did you have 3?
It's definitely not on here. We do have a question for more community spaces, but that's kind of vague,
Yeah, I can see where you'd want
so.
some light on that.
Yeah, so we add it maybe into one of the other ones that might make sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's a town building and, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 3 from this one?
I thought it was 3 from, what is most important to you? Please rank your top 3 items. Maybe of why you moved to Litchfield, I think. So what is important to you, I guess, living in Litchfield? A was lower tax rate, right? Would you like a lower tax rate?
Yeah, I thought we
More
brought that up
community
also.
spaces, indoor and outdoor. Do you want new arts, entertainment options? A new elementary school? More commercial development, improved water quality, more access to public transportation was an option. More retail locations, more restaurant locations, and other.
Yeah, because I thought it was really instead of this question 3.
Yeah.
Which one is that?
Like, it wasn't this question 3, it was that question.
So, which, is that the one that's in?
Because I recall having conversation around, it really doesn't make sense to talk about the new elementary school.
Right.
you know,
Okay, so that
public
good, so
transit.
it's not there.
Right, so I think it was
Right.
this 3 that we meant.
All right, let me go back to the one that was on the one with all the check boxes.
Yes.
All right, let's go to about that one. So that was a big one. Number 2.
It was a big one.
Another big one. But that were definitely more detailed questions, right, for a second round, right? So number
And
3.
what was the thought process in number 2 before we go on to number 3?
Which 2?
Which 2?
The,
Are we on the merge questions or?
well, the merged.
Merged, let me go to that one.
Oh, wait, which is the merge one? This was the
The-
merge one.
So the merge- it's
121.
The one labeled Econ
2000.
Survey Draft 121-24.
Yeah, that's the merge one, yeah.
Yeah.
So I drafted that question as just to get the feel of why someone moved to this town originally. So when anyone moved somewhere, they did it for either schools, opportunities for recreation, lot size. There's some driving force.
So I'm wondering if we could give drop downs. I'm
We
worried
could,
about
but
the
in
data.
this case, I wanted to have the pie in the sky, this random, flat, dead answer. What made you move to town? And that'll be tough to correlate for us, but it'll,
But
be,
I think that-
it'll be an honest answer from anybody who doesn't.
But I think consolidating the data
Mhm.
will be difficult.
Correct.
Because if you have 800 responses, you could have 800 different answers.
Yeah. I'm assuming we won't based on the size of our town, but there will be a variety of answers that'll come.
So the question kind of looks like, why did you move here?
Mm-hmm.
That's one, and then maybe it has shifted, and what do you want, right? It's almost like 2 things. So it's up here, it just said, it didn't say, why did you move here? I mean, so we can reword it. And I know you're still asking the question of the philosophy why we did not do that. Because so why did you move to Litchfield was question 2, and
Mm-hmm.
then question 3 was what is most important to you?
Yes.
So I don't know if that's why they moved to Litchfield or what they want in the future, so it could be 2.
Well, 3 is kind of both. So it could be a future most important to you or what's important to you now. That's kind of up in the air.
Yeah, that's, I mean, it could be
So.
2 different answers. Like, I
That'll
moved here
change
because
anyone
of
over
this,
time.
but now
So.
something might have changed.
We could do drop downs on 2, but we got to think of a few different options to put in that box.
Well, and
Which-
one might be, I didn't move to Litchfield
Right. But you could
because I was born here.
That's
You
entirely-
know?
That's
And
entirely possible.
Yeah, not me personally,
No,
but
no, no. That's-
That's a good point.
mean, that's-
That should be an option.
it should be, yeah.
we can do that.
And there would be potentially non-residents answering the survey as well who didn't move here.
Correct. So,
Oh, we're opening a can of worms, you're right. Why did you leave?
Well, right.
Well, they have a
thing,
business
though.
here, or they, you know.
well, that's a
If
good
someone
question
left,
too.
do we really? Yes, I'd like to have your input as far
Oh,
as
yeah, no, it's not a good data
you
point.
left.
Yeah, it's a data point. but not-
But once again, you left, so you can't have say what happens next. But having your input
Well,
would be
if you
great,
left, you're probably
so
not
we
gonna
know
take the
why you
survey,
left. That'd be great
right?
to know, but it can't affect other people moving forward.
You're probably not taking the survey if you left.
Correct.
But-
Most likely.
Survey Monkey lets you branch. So if you live here, you can be asked a certain set of questions. If you work here, you can ask a set of questions.
Yeah,
So
we
you
can do
can
that. We
parse it.
could do a workflow for it.
You can, it does do that.
Okay.
So that, you're not making them answer anything
Yeah.
if it didn't apply.
All right.
Gets rid of some repetition.
Wait, where's the question?
Number 2. You're on the wrong one. Yeah, right there.
Okay, what made you?
So we
lean
have a
to-
few
oh.
things. We need to make sure Peter's all
So I
set
guess
with recreation.
I would suggest we'd have to go ahead and spend some time and break down answers for that question then.
We want to make sure
brainstorm
about
that.
your question, about why it
Yeah,
was left out, right?
I think you need a question before that just asks, it could be one of those,
The last ones, like, do you live here?
Yeah, number 7.
or how long have you lived in town, give them some options, and then, native or I was born here as an
Yeah.
option. And then it's if you moved to Litchfield, why?
Okay.
And then you could give them options, or you could leave it open-ended.
I like the open end there, but once again, if we give them options, we have to think of the options now to put them on the question.
Hold on, I can find, there's another survey where I know I asked that question.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Give me 1 sec.
That'd be very helpful.
let's see. Okay, so in Hudson, we asked, this is just the results, since this does not give me, I'll go back to that, but here are the questions, the choices that you had. So the question was worded, if you or your family chose to move to Hudson, please share the primary reasons why you or your family chose to move to Hudson.
That sounds good.
Select up to 5, convenient location, housing affordability, proximity to employment, to be closer to family, housing availability, let me see if I can scroll down, lower taxes, quality of public schools, outdoor recreational opportunities, proximity to shopping, and then other.
Mhm.
And the top, these are ranked, so other was the last choice, obviously. Another option was new job or transfer, and then finally arts or cultural offerings. There was a lot of choices, granted, we might
They
not
all sound
want
pretty
that
good,
many.
Was that was Hudson?
That was Hudson, I can tell you what the responses were.
How was other on there? Was that chosen a lot or not so much?
Not so much.
Okay.
59% chose convenient location, 48 housing affordability, 37% chose proximity to employment. Interestingly, 30% chose to be closer to family. And then housing availability, 27, lower taxes, 26, quality of public schools, 22, and it kind of goes on down.
Yeah.
But locational factors were the number one,
Mhm.
you know, for all these various reasons. And the reason why the percentages are high is you could choose up to 5,
Okay, yeah.
so.
Well, that sounds great to me. I like those. What do you think of those, Kim?
I think they're good.
Yeah.
I think they're really
So
good.
that's people who
Let's modify that
moved here, though.
question
I
then.
could send them an email,
Yeah.
think of how we worded the prior question.
So you have those, so you have that for who moved here, though, right? But then there
Yeah,
were
so
some
if you
born
moved
here.
here, those are your options that you have to choose from.
Oh, okay, so we worded the first one a little bit differently. Do you consider yourself to be a Hudson native, was the first question. Yes, no. Then the following one was, if you moved to town, then. So,
So-
you don't have to do it that way, but that's how we
Yeah.
did it, so.
Did you guys define native?
We just said, do you consider yourself?
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and the reason for that was, you've got people who maybe weren't born here, but grew up, spent all their lives, they might consider themselves.
Yeah.
So that's why we asked it that way, rather than,
Sure.
were you born here? That was
I like
another,
that.
you know, there was discussion around, how do we frame it?
Right.
We also didn't want people to think that if you were, we initially had one of those, how many years you lived in town, but we were afraid people would think that if they hadn't lived in town long, we wouldn't value their opinion.
Okay.
So there was a lot of discussion around it.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay. Yeah, I think
That's a really good point, Jay.
Yeah.
That's I mean, it's a really good point on, if you came here in first grade, you might consider yourself a Litchfield native.
Mhm.
You know, you came here 2 years old. I mean,
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, no, I like both those questions, the way they're phrased, to substitute them in. I definitely think we should go ahead and do that.
So you want that second, right? Are you in favor of economic development in town, number one, to stay? Or do you wanna ask that as the introduction?
I don't know if the order really matters all that much, unless you want to
That's
start with
the tone,
building
right?
the person.
I put that first, cause that does set the tone.
Which one's first? You wanna are you in
Keep
favor of
one
economic
on.
The economic
development?
development question first.
So are you, so it's gonna be, okay.
So one stays.
So,
Mm-hmm.
all right, so
Yeah.
on the draft, we're gonna keep number one,
Yep.
and then we're gonna move number 7 up in that format, right? So number 7 was about, do you live here, work here, on a business, we're taking some of that, right? Well, let's take so keep number 1, and then you're gonna bring in the Hudson,
I'll bring in a new 2 and 3
Yeah.
from the Hudson.
We're gonna pull 2 and add a new 2 and a 2B.
2,
Yeah.
and 3.
Mm-hmm.
And the new one is, do you consider yourself a native
Native
of
question, yeah.
Litchfield, right? And the other one was, what made you move here?
If you or your family, exactly.
Okay.
Correct.
What was the draw here? Okay. All right. So as far as a data point, you don't want to have how long they lived here?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, if you think that'll develop a stigma to where people don't answer the question honestly, then I wouldn't do it. But I look at it as maybe the longer you live somewhere, you had more time in the area, maybe you'll have more, stronger opinions, or
Right.
you've seen more things.
It's
I look at it
just-
as a good thing, but it might be a negative stigma, so maybe don't do it.
It was more like if they came here 20 years ago, it was a different town. The draw was different than it is today. That was
I'm
really
sure
the
that's
point,
true.
not to make them
Correct.
feel isolated. So, okay, but the people who've been here for many years know what it was, and you've been here a long time doing the circuit rider stuff, so, yeah, so you've seen the whole growth of the
Oh, yeah.
town. Okay, so that's what we have so far. Keep number one, and
Back when people used to move here because it was affordable.
it was affordable. I don't think I could live here now. All right. Okay, so let's go back then. So we had two more questions. We wanted to make sure recreation gets in there at some format, and we want to make sure if we remove this question 3 that's in the draft, why we did that, right? We were questioning number 3. All right, so we really have number 1 done. The what made you move to Litchfield is gonna be next. You wanna keep that to be number 3, so we're gonna keep number 1. Then you're gonna bring in the 2 and the 3 from Hudson. Then we're coming back to number 2 and keep number 2 here.
Which two?
Why did you move to
No,
Litchfield?
2's gone.
No,
2
two's
is gone, so just keep
yeah.
3.
And 3 comes back as number 4 now.
So if we keep 3, is that the wording you want? What is most important to you? You mean as far as the future economic? Says this says what is most important to you? Please rank your top 3 today. What, is
You might
that what
want
you're
to put
asking?
in regards to the town, but I think everything here is
But
geared
you-
towards the town, so it's
So-
Right.
But but it means what's the most important to you now, as
correct.
far as the town.
Yes.
So it just says what's most important to you. Does that mean the past? Or
We could
no?
add it now.
Let's add now, if that's
Right.
okay.
Now, there are some
So keep
questions
number-
in the number 3 on the other survey
Right.
that we might want to look at that and think, are there some questions here that we want, because there were more options there.
Correct.
Is there anything in that 3 that we want to add, I guess I'd say.
Gotcha.
What is most important to you now about Litchfield? I mean,
Well, like, for
I know
example.
what's most important to me now is health.
Right.
I'm just saying, how do we tie it to the survey?
But on the number 3 on the other survey,
Yeah.
it has things like preserve agricultural lands, preserve open space and forests, so do we want to, include those or
So
not?
so
And that's
you're
that's a
merge.
question.
So that's coming after this one, right?
Protect
So
historic
what's-
sites.
And this is your concern, are we getting too detailed?
Well, no. So I just think 3 here in the combined list though is different. So what are the most important to you? Most important to you in regards to what?
That's what I'm saying, what is
So-
now?
So
The other 3 said, what are the most important general issues that should be addressed in the town of Litchfield over the next 5 years? You're putting a little bit more definition to it.
we could definitely add that. I left it out in this case because the whole survey is about that. But
So you like that wording better for it?
I do. I think you need to give them a time.
Let me go back to that one.
Fine.
And then we decide what you asked, Jay, if we merge things together, right, with them.
Right, are there just some things on that list we want to make sure we ask?
Okay, so the one on the draft, we're gonna keep number 3, but we're changing the question wording, right? To be the one on,
we're adding in more detail to the question.
all right, so where is that one? Is it it's on the one that was the one with the check boxes, right?
Yes.
That one.
So if you go to that
Go down now,
question
number
3,
3.
are there questions there that it would make sense to pull over?
So number 3, we're
Or
gonna,
I should say options.
so the question comes from the, I don't wanna call this, what town was this? Was this Hudson? Or was this
I
Amherst?
think this was also a mix. Was this Amherst? Might have been
I
Amherst.
think it was
Amherst.
based on
I think
Amherst.
it was
Based on
Amherst, right?
Amherst, yeah.
All right, so the question is gonna be from Amherst, give or take, right?
Right.
But the answer, the options might be a merge, right?
Emerge, yeah. So I geared mostly the options towards the town where we are now. If you want to add other ones, that's absolutely fine.
Right. This is the one that had increased recreation opportunities on it.
Yeah, looking at the other options, I think I do prefer this one. There's a couple from the merge draft that we can bring over, but as I read it, I think there's a number in this one that would be important to draw out. such as the sewer system, which is a
Right.
major lift, but that's a,
That's been an issue though.
yeah, like, I'd be really curious to see a response on that.
Right.
A question, I'd love your thoughts on the tax question, because one is lower the tax rate,
Right.
the other one is grow the tax base. So,
Two totally different things.
yeah, so, right, so it's, you can lower the tax rate by doing a number of different things, right? Expanding the tax base is more about what we're speaking to.
Right.
So that's the one I'm a bit more interested in, because I can appreciate everyone probably wants a lower tax rate,
Right.
but the growing the tax base comes with expansion and other pieces to it.
I think understanding that correlation though is gonna be not quite as obvious to everyone taking the survey,
That's fair. Yep.
so.
But you can break it up and say, because one says decrease the rate of the no, not that one. Hold on, where did I say it? Give me a sec. Number 3, right? Was it, there was one here, hold on. Doo-doo-doo. One says grow the tax base, one says decrease the rate of the residential growth. I guess I was thinking that as something for taxes. So tax base can be decrease the tax base for residential, and one is, right, decrease or increase for non-residential, I don't know.
Remember, so growing the tax base in itself doesn't guarantee you a lower tax rate.
Yeah.
So if you build a shopping mall and your total assessment goes up, but then you build a new police station and you've just spent that money, that it doesn't, you're not gonna get a lower tax rate. So
That's true, your house taxes.
yeah, you
are-
have to be very careful
Okay,
that we're not, because if they said lower my tax rate, now I'm thinking, okay, what am I
What do you cut?
what am I actually suggesting to the Board of Selectmen, that we cut our budget, or that,
That could be an answer, but it could also be broaden the tax base. But the point of the question is, if your main concern is lowering the tax rate, then it comes back to us to develop what's our best options to do said task, which could be grow the tax base.
Right. Well, it's not either or. I mean, if we feel it's important, we could just have both questions.
We could.
I think both answers would be possible.
We might want to add some definitions though, to understand what does grow the tax base actually mean. So right now, the research you did a while ago is what, the town is 98% residential currently?
90?
90?
90, and you've got, 4 something commercial, 4.8, and
Yeah.
then 4 point something
Right, so-
utilities.
That would show our tax base is residential housing pretty handily
Yeah.
currently.
Right. I mean, but it's hard to say, because, to me, growing the tax base means increasing the equalized assessed valuation per capita. But that's a super specific,
Very much so.
right?
Yes. Could be residential
It could be-
houses.
It could be that we
Yeah.
promote $1 million homes.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
but it does say which way economic development's impacted, right, if they really want to keep it low, right, there's not a lot of growth.
Right.
I just don't generally think of economic development and lowering the tax rate.
Right. So
I
that,
think of economic development and growing the tax base. What have you seen in other communities, Jay?
I think.
Maybe they stay away from taxes
Well,
altogether.
Just think of it.
We do, on different surveys, I've asked the question about taxes and, in terms of their people's priorities, but usually in a different context. What are your biggest concerns about the direction of the town or something like that? And, to see how high that ranks. Generally, I'm kind of thinking that this question 3 could replace this question 3.
To go more with the Amherst one.
Yeah.
But let's go through, there was a few here, we can see if we can add. Some people don't want any growth. Some people want the door closed, right? Not saying that's,
But that's
Yeah.
an
but
option.
that could be an option if
It is.
70% say we don't want
was a
anything.
decrease.
Right
Still
here,
one of these.
there's decrease the rate of residential
Yep.
growth.
There you go.
That's an option.
Yeah, so Jay, I'm kind of with you. I think overall, I like these questions better. I think maybe there's a couple we can pull over, but.
Yeah, let's take a look. Do you mind, though, if I stop and open it to public for a moment?
Yeah,
All
okay,
right.
listen up.
I'm gonna open it to public hearing at 7:04 or 7:05 around. And someone is in the audience. I would like you to come on up and introduce yourself and say why you're here. If that's okay, yeah?
My name is Connie Jackson. You talk about longtime residents. My husband's 71. He was born here. So I've been here 55 years. I think I've seen a lot of the town change dramatically. I think we do need to look at economic development. I think that's something that has been bypassed, and the image of the town has been a nice little farm community, which is a nice little tag to have, but it's not reality any longer, as we're seeing the people moving in. So Kim and I were talking at the elections, and I didn't even know you had this committee. So it was like, the light bulb went off, because I've been thinking that something needed to be done in the town. But I didn't know who was gonna be responsible for promoting some ideas. So, yes, I would like to join your committee. And I'm old, so I'm talking gray hair.
Can you just state for the record your address?
Just 64 Cutler Road, Litchfield, New Hampshire.
So, are we going to have these more of a workshop? Because the Board of Selectmen have brought everybody on from different committees here. And so that's what we're doing here, but we do want the public to be involved, so. So this is almost a workshop right now anyway, right? So, please jump in. So maybe in the future, maybe I can start to make hard copies or something so we can make it a workshop, right?
Okay.
And notes and everything, but please stay tonight and feel free to.
It's very interesting, extremely interesting.
Do we want to, I don't know if we want to get it up there on the board, or is it too late at this point? Or-
Probably for today, yeah.
It's kind of hard, but
But
if
for
you
the
wanna give
future,
me
we
2
probably-
seconds, I will go
Yeah.
stick these. I have a copy of each.
Actually, do you mind if I have a copy?
And
That might be easier for the.
I
toddler.
will stick it through the copier.
Do you mind if I have a copy? Can you make 2?
Of course
Well,
not.
if not, I'm
You're the
toggling
boss.
between the screens. Did everyone have a hard copy? Does anyone
I
need one?
don't, but I'll take it with you. If you're a copy man, go ahead.
How many want a copy?
2, 4, 6.
No, yeah, good.
No?
3 copies.
You want one for you? But it might be easy for the notes. Well, plus they'll be attached, they're already in the portal. You can- But then feel free, mark it up, right?
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting discussion. I like what you are doing on the survey. Couple of ideas, but I do think that it's necessary.
Yeah.
Because we've had a demographic change in 50 years. And it's not the farming community it used to be. So I think we need to look on growth, but how much growth do we want? Housing is definitely not affordable any longer out here.
And we're not the first committee to do this. There's been economic development committees in town before us who did a great job, right? We're still using their model
Sure.
today. So I don't want you to think that, we're continuing it, hopefully, in a positive direction.
Well, I thank you for considering me.
Stay. Can she stay, or is that?
Sure.
Let's see why not.
May I like
Okay.
to stay?
So do I close the public hearing, or do I keep it open?
A question, so.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming in.
Oh.
and So it sounds like she's asking for a spot on the committee, so I guess question like, are there at-large seats that would have vote, or?
I can check with the
Ask
board.
of Selectmen
I'd have to ask the
for
board
appointment for
because
this, for
they,
public?
they said, bring somebody in from all groups, right?
Yep.
And who would vote or not. So I can ask if they want members.
Why don't we do that?
Why don't we ask? We have to-
Let's ask if there's members,
Residential member.
and then, let's see what they say. And then, but if not, definitely come to the workshops, right?
Thank you.
I think.
Any
I
input is
think-
helpful.
Let me just see if I have to close public hearing. I'm not sure
I'm not sure.
technically if I should,
yeah,
if she's
public
sitting
comment,
up there, I'm glad you came. See what happens when you go and vote?
I tell ya.
You get pulled into these things.
I think we had everything solved too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we solved world peace in 3 minutes, right?
For sure.
Yeah. Gee, that was a week ago, doesn't it? It seems longer than that, doesn't it? So far. For me, the hard copy would be better. And I do want to look at Jeremy's ideas, see if there's any that come over.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, sure, right.
So why don't we start with the when Kim comes back, when we start with the Amherst and go, make sure we like all those options and just keep those and we'll add mine in.
That makes sense.
Something like that. Because we have a bunch of overlapping things, so we'll just a little bit faster.
Yeah,
that way.
definitely. Some of them are the same, just worded differently.
Yeah. Peter, does that question satisfy you as far as recreation goes for the most part?
When it's in the checkbox one,
Yeah.
Checkbox.
maybe just, I might suggest some changing it to improve recreational facilities.
Instead of increase, improve?
Yeah.
Instead of opportunities?
No, it says increase. He wants improve.
Oh, improve.
Yeah.
Okay.
Survey number 1, or draft 1. Draft,
One problem with improve, though, it
Two.
won't qualify as much for any kind of impact fees.
and then this
Where's
is the one
increase?
that is kind
Qualified
of
to-
consolidation,
Yeah.
but
Just
we're
the wording
kind of
wise.
fixing it, yeah.
Do you need a pen? Should we do some writing on? You have a?
We have a lot of things that are in
Let me just ask
disrepair,
procedurally, 'cause I don't
so
usually-
talent, tennis courts,
Usually
playgrounds,
open
so
meetings for public here.
that's what I'm trying to gauge if,
You're the rec
I
guy, so
wanna,
whatever you
no,
think
I wanna
makes
see
the
if you
most
stay up
sense.
here, if I
I'll
just
default
leave the
to you.
meeting.
well, your
open
point is a
for
good one,
public
because
hearing.
we can't
That's what I'm
do
gonna find
any
out.
any of
It's not a
those.
public hearing, so.
It's not a public
No,
hearing?
it's just
If they
public
fell
input.
down.
Well, I
we can
opened it
use
up for
regs,
public
we use
input.
20
Should I wanna see if I should leave it open technically.
Oh, so
I don't wanna
should you
rehash
continue
of
to,
what happened.
right, so should you continue to participate?
Right,
in
yeah.
Consolidated.
Just leave it open. Yeah, that's fine, I think.
I just wanna make sure Kim, no, he's okay with that. I don't expect any. Tense.
You're all
This is
set,
good.
Peter?
This is gonna be a great survey.
I believe I am.
Okay. So goes to Jay.
So I have opened it to public. Should I keep it open while we're doing the workshop, or should I close it?
Gosh, what happened to this?
I'm not sure
Public
technically.
comment?
I don't, yeah, public, well, I opened it up to
I
public.
think we,
Do you
Wants
want me
to
to,
make
do you want me
sure
to, want you to
Connie
I
close
can-
it?
think you asked her to participate.
Right, so do you want me to leave it open and then close it later, or?
I don't
do
think you
should I
need
close-
to leave it open unless, I mean, no one else is here. You've asked her to join us and participate.
Okay, so I can close?
I believe you can. Jay, you see a problem with that?
Nope.
All right, let me
Let's close it up.
go back to my,
So when it comes, we can.
I say. I'm gonna close public input at, hasn't been open that long, 7:12, 7:13, why don't you make it 7:13? All right, thank you. All right, so the one that we're calling Jeremy's is this one here without the check boxes, right?
November 28th.
Yep, November 28th. We keep referring to that as Jeremy's draft. Jeremy's over here on the right. The one that has the check boxes here is Amherst, I believe, had this model.
Yeah.
And we are trying to merge, because we looked at a few, but we
Right.
like these
Then we
two
have
the
to
best. And also, and we did take into consideration Laura's before. Remember she had her draft? We did take that into consideration when she was here before. Remember when Laura sent this in? Because she was here when we came up with this
Yes.
last week, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 9. So I think
Yes.
we're okay with that. Okay, and I appreciate the Plansky's doing this work here. All right, and the one that's the draft is the one that's the merged. All right, so let's get back to number Amherst, number,
So we were looking
Three?
at number 3 on the Amherst.
So we're gonna mostly strike number 3 on the combined one. Substitute in number 3 on the Amherst one. I'm gonna fine tune it now.
Which will be 4, because
Which will be
there's
4
2
now,
from
yes, this will
Hudson.
become 4 now, yep.
So 2 from Hudson,
Yep.
and this will be 4.
All right, so you wanted to get rid of anything off of the Amherst one first, and then go and add Jeremy's in.
If
Right.
need-
I
if
think that's
need
what
be.
they said when you left the room.
Right.
So go through the Amherst ones first for number
Right.
3, and take out what we don't want, and then go back to Jeremy's list, see if we have to bring anything over.
Right.
Yeah, that,
What about number
which one do you like?
item 3?
On which one?
On the Amherst, encourage clustered residential development. Do you think people will know?
I think the planning board's
That's all we
taking
have
some
going
of
right
that
now
up.
for the most part, but
The planning board might be having.
that's what we're
these
building in town right now, so.
Well, are we gonna talk about that on the planning board? Open space and kind of
Oh,
cluster?
of course we will.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think that's coming up. So,
I don't see why we couldn't leave it, but we could always strike it if you guys don't wanna bother with it
do you
there.
want it there?
I don't know, I'm just wondering if that's
I
something
don't mind it
that,
there.
Some people don't even
If it's helpful to
want
you
it.
all, then.
Yeah, I mean, just as a point of start, this survey, this question, the way it's worded, doesn't say how many to check. I think it probably should say check up to 5 or check up to 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
what
That'll
do you think?
help,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
How are they written down?
There's
Is
almost 20
is it
options here, so, yeah,
alphabetized?
maybe drop it cap it at 5.
Yeah, so say, select no more than 5.
Yeah.
So is it written in a way that they would know this is related to town buildings, this is related to school building, you know? Or is it alphabetized? But they're gonna have to
What do you
read
mean?
all, there's a lot here, right?
Yeah, there's a lot here.
7, 8, 9,
This question will take a while to answer.
10. There's like 19 here, and we might
Yeah.
add more, remove.
Is there?
So they have to read all 19
Yes,
before they
they do.
start checking off. They might check off 1, 2, 3, 4, and go, oh, wait a minute, there's still 8.
Well, they could
8
change their
left.
minds. You know, I mean,
Yeah, they can.
because it's just a box. Usually the way those questions are structured is if you check more than 5, they won't let you check more than 5.
And we're not trying to lead them anyway by saying what goes first, right? We're
No.
not supposed to do
It's
that.
alphabetical, I think.
Is
No,
it?
No, maybe not.
It's not, that's why I was
No.
questioning.
I think it's more or less random. Maybe start off alphabetical, but
What
kind of
do they-
deviated.
We could certainly make it alphabetical.
Do their eyes
That's
glaze
easy.
over?
I think it was intended to be alphabetical, and then people probably added questions.
Yeah.
Well, you have action words at the beginning. You have a lot of that say increase, a lot that say attract.
Yep.
So you maybe want a verb, you know, we can have increases together, decreases together.
Oh, we just do them
Expand.
alphabetically, and then we're done.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see how it looks like. So you're gonna sort them. So you're
We
gonna
could.
select, so we're gonna sort whatever is left. Right now, there's 19, right? Sort, and then only allow selecting 5.
But it's hard getting rid of any because they're all good.
Well, it's a really important question.
It is.
So I don't know that we have to get rid of them. I think it's only if something concerns us, we could get rid of it.
Maybe housing variety?
Yeah, there's kind of 5 different housing ones that are
Yeah.
in the same space. Yeah, I think the variety can get rid of.
Which one? Variety?
Increase housing variety?
Well, our master plan kinda had a few listed in there, right? We were,
Yeah, that goes to, should we have, more diversity of housing types? I think that's what that's trying to say.
Like, we do allow multifamily housing, we just don't build a whole lot of it.
Right.
But I don't know if you need to increase housing variety and encourage clustered residential.
Yeah, I mean, if we were gonna strike one, it would probably be the encouraged cluster, because that's very specific,
Yeah.
but I'd be okay with getting rid of that one.
Should we
yeah, if they,
possibly- go ahead.
if they increase residential, that's just assumed to be part of it, right? They can do open space clustered subdivision, right, whatever they want.
Yeah.
That's okay if it went.
Yeah.
Should we possibly reword the increased school capacity / facilities? Because I don't know if we really want to increase school capacity. It's not really a need we have right this second.
So in yours, you have a new elementary school. Do we want to just be that specific?
Well, that's
Just
kind of
say
the
it.
need we have right now, based on the school's current physical standing. We don't need more capacity, we just need a new physical location for said school.
So instead of in school
instead of increase school capacity slash facilities, just put in, build new elementary school?
Or improve, something like that.
Yeah, what about if you did improve school facilities?
Like that would probably be better off.
Instead of increase, that would make
We
sense.
definitely don't need increase, at least not right now.
Yeah.
Makes sense, change that to improve.
Improve.
A lot of these could be lumped under housing, and then you could have, school could have a couple, right? School could be increase or new, right? Improve or new. So you could have two for school. So you could have a tag called school. Where's the two school ones?
But if you're improving school facilities, that could be renovation or new.
That's what I mean,
Correct,
so have
correct,
two for
right.
school, new school, renovation of school. So they're both fall under school. Just put the word school in front of both of those.
I
They
think,
lump-
I think
right?
we only need to improve.
Huh?
I think we only need to improve.
You wanna improve? I don't know.
just improve
Kind
school
of means,
I think
Not
it's
new.
just improve
Improve
school
school facilities.
facilities.
Yeah.
you just wanna improve?
And leave
Okay.
it
I
at
agree,
that.
improve.
I-
I just think
Improve.
increase is showing the wrong question we have here. I don't think anyone
Right.
really wants to increase our capacity, then we don't.
And you had the same point about
Okay,
recreational
I'm all right with
opportunities.
that.
And
It
your
should be-
numbers don't, the enrollments don't show it.
They don't show the need for it at all.
Right.
Even with the new homes being built, I don't think we need.
I would be concerned if we put new elementary, that people are trying to get to, we're trying to survey them for the warrant.
Yeah.
And I don't wanna, any correlation between this and the warrant.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think that's
Improve
fair.
is fine, I like it.
Alright, so we've taken away encourage clustered residential development. We're gonna adjust the school one to improve.
Retail, industrial parks. You have decreased the rate of residential growth.
Yeah.
Do you have increased the rate of?
No. We've got increased variety, increased affordability.
Right. Increase commercial, increase industrial, just not residential.
And
We certainly could put it in. if we
Some
think
people might
it's-
just want homes and no businesses.
Well, we could certainly add it. I mean, if you feel like, increase the rate of residential development, we certainly could put it in. Or increase residential development.
Some people do wanna decrease it though, they wanna,
Oh, for sure.
what do they call it? Just-
Jay, expand municipal water service. I'm trying to think of a different, we don't have a municipal water, so it's not expand.
Well, the
What is
question,
it?
the question.
Explore?
Explore.
Oh, I see.
Explore,
Better probably, yeah.
municipal water
I think,
service.
I think it would probably just it meant Pettichock. I mean, that's really what it meant.
Really? Oh, it's Amherst, yeah.
It's Amherst. Well, they don't have municipal water in Amherst. So I think that was
That
Yeah,
looking to expand.
one of the
Penn
things that people have talked about was expanding water service into Amherst. So I think that's what that meant.
Oh, but we do have it,
But we do have it.
so do we really wanna know if they wanna expand? Improve?
So the question, I guess, would be, do we want to extend it to more parts of town? If that's even worth having a question for that.
Isn't the large majority of town covered by Pennachuck
I
currently?
know, yeah.
The main roads, yeah.
I don't see.
We could take that
That's
out.
worth
But
asking.
there's a definite, interest to know if people would like us to explore other options.
Especially businesses that are gonna come here.
Oh,
that need the
so
water.
Litchfield creating its own system.
It'd be worth asking the question.
So, okay, so
Explore future,
Explore a
Town-
municipal water service?
yeah, something like that.
explore creation.
Explore it, just a
of municipal
cost
water service.
analysis
Yes.
kind of thing. Because again, some businesses can't come here if they don't have the water.
Right.
Yeah, that would be, I think that would be an interesting question to ask.
Yeah. So it's
Let's
explore,
find that out
right?
then.
Explore.
Yeah, explore is the right word.
Now, how does that town sewer system, so,
That'd be the same kind
so
of
we
thing.
have the,
Things
we
that are
have-
developed, maybe they
okay, so that
explore.
now goes into lot sizes.
Yeah. It definitely does. I mean, it's always been the
I don't wanna say tension, but, do we
Deterrent?
wanna try to bring in sewer, from Manchester realistically to create more, commercial development? And is the flip side of that it would increase residential density? That's always been a question.
Does Hudson have their own?
Hudson's Nashua.
Hudson's Nashua,
And Manchester was our only option currently.
which is tapped,
Was
right?
Nashua shut off to us now?
I don't think-
Nashua, yeah,
Nashua doesn't have
Hudson's got
capacity.
really limited capacity, they couldn't expand. The other thing that had been talked about over the years is, could you actually go to Merrimack? Could you sink a line,
Okay.
in the river and go, I mean, yeah, that's been talked about. Whether that's feasible or not, I don't know, but
That's a big
that's been
project.
talked about. Of course, that's a big project.
That's an expensive one, right? Northern part of town?
It
Southern
is
part of town?
it's an
That's
expensive
an expensive
endeavor.
one.
It's all expensive.
This is
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be more expensive than Manchester, but it would have to be an Explorer question because.
Explore municipal
I won't be
town
able to
sewers.
afford to flush my toilet.
Yeah, so
It's gonna be so expensive.
explore a town
Yeah.
sewers, okay.
Oh, that was a
Yeah.
bad joke, I apologize. All right, so develop the town sewer system or another?
Explore.
We're gonna strike develop.
Lots of explorers, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Getting expensive, water in and out. All right,
So we already allow multifamily
Historic.
housing, so that probably should just go away.
Yeah, that probably should go away.
which one is that? What, on the
The
page,
next
other page?
page,
Okay.
the next option.
We already do, that's
Right.
right. I think that would go away.
Technically, we do, we still
Yeah, we
don't
do.
build upon it.
It's also covered under increased housing variety.
Yeah.
Affordability of housing,
That's on there too.
yeah, but. Yep. So, affordability, you always tell us affordable housing and workforce housing are two different things, right? They are different formulas, right?
Well, workforce housing is a very specific
Where we don't have,
thing.
we don't have the work, we don't have them here, right, for industry.
We definitely do
We'd
not.
be helping other towns with their workforce problem.
Yeah.
So do we wanna look at workforce? I don't know if that doesn't.
I'd
make
leave
sense
it,
at
I'd
this
leave it the way
point.
it is. I think
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
affordable
it makes
housing.
sense either.
Yeah.
All right, but affordable housing, okay?
It's a very generic
Increase
question.
affordability.
Affordability of
Yeah.
housing.
So affordability
It's
isn't,
affordability.
that isn't affordable housing in the essence that some people use that term.
Right.
There's different
And
types.
Increasing
homes.
workforce housing does not just help other communities, because the services that Litchfield people are using are in those other communities,
True.
right?
That's true.
So when you go to the hospital, you're not going to a Litchfield hospital, unless there was one created overnight. So,
Right.
So increase affordability of housing. So if that's on, I'm just trying to think of the scope, it's on an economic development survey,
Yeah.
and you say, I want to increase the affordability of housing. So checking that box means, what, we need more development here, right? More businesses to support it? I'm just trying to think what checking that box means. What does it tell us?
It's just, it's more, it's
more the
tied to the
types.
question below it pretty much, variety of
So
housing.
the
and stuff like that.
townhomes, the
We
condos.
don't have any affordable housing programs in the area, at least for Litchfield. We don't have any bond programs to subsidize this stuff at all, so. It's,
So it's-
we can't subsidize that at all right now.
So that is different types of homes, the townhomes, the condos, the apartments.
That kind of stuff, yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right.
Yeah. Which is where we've driven all of our housing right now.
Yeah.
Pretty
So
much.
everything we have is townhouses, pretty much. And then modular, so townhouse and modular is it.
who was the
Affordability, and there
individual
was one over
from,
here.
the first individual from zoning that came to the committee? Jerry?
It was a term?
Jerry?
The veteran, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a big one that he had mentioned.
Was he back to his kids living in, I believe.
That's right, his
Yeah.
kids
Right.
were looking for
Right.
housing
Right,
within,
they just couldn't afford anything in the area.
right.
Yeah.
Increase.
No, I like both those questions,
School.
increase affordability and increase housing variety.
Yeah, I agree.
Can we do the protect drinking water supply and quality? Are we in the middle of that right now?
Yes. we
All right.
can.
Although that can be more than just the Penachuk issue, that could be, protecting our groundwater resources, as an example.
Then part of that fall into our EPA update we just did the other day.
To a point, yes.
The MS4,
Right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
it's that. We have an aquifer ordinance.
Yeah.
We have a high yield aquifer.
It's
If we're
part of
going
it.
to make create our own water system, maybe that's what we'd be looking to, right? Or does most of that go to Hudson? I would think the last two
So
would be
what's the
pretty
next one?
non-controversial.
Yeah, those will
Yeah.
probably be heavily checked off.
Yep.
I suspect so.
variety, drinking water, open space. Now, do we have the recreational one covered? Are you okay, or are you gonna wanna add that? Cause we have,
We do have it, it's, on the
Increase
first page, it
recreation.
says increase recreational opportunities, although I think our conversation was it should be improve, not increase.
yes, okay, got it.
Improve recreational, is
Right.
it opportunities or a
I
different
like
word?
facilities.
Facilities,
yeah.
yeah, I agree,
Okay, good.
improve.
Yeah, you've got a couple of items here that I don't know if we have, covered elsewhere. More retail locations, more restaurant locations. Should we add those to this list?
Well, we have retail office development to the top.
Yeah, we
one.
have retail, we don't have restaurant.
You know, I don't really break into, the Amherst doesn't really break into restaurants themselves directly. We could add it if we want to.
It's up to you.
Amherst doesn't have the arts thing either. But I don't have a problem adding both those together if you want.
Well, we do, you're right, it does say retail here already. So I guess, do we wanna call out restaurant specifically?
Or do you wanna, put a and/or in there? Retail/restaurant, so kinda see the,
That's a good idea.
it's kind of the same thing, but
No, that's a good idea.
people may not see it as exactly the same thing.
I don't see it as the same thing.
So what are you thinking? Yeah, I'm thinking arts
Restaurant
and
sells better than
entertainment
pubs.
is different.
I like
Keep them separate.
attract new retail and attract new restaurants. I like them separate, cause they're different
Alright,
things.
let's keep them separate.
So add,
Add restaurants in.
So up the top, you have attract new retail, attract new industry.
attract,
Right.
You're keeping the master one over there? Good.
well, I'm just, attract new restaurant,
Back more restaurants. Or new restaurants or whatever it was. I think that makes sense.
what about the arts?
And there's no arts on the Amherst one, if you guys wanna add that.
New arts entertainment options. I don't think that's a bad thing to have.
Or subsidized to community area, something like that. Not really a rec thing, but it could be a multi-purpose development or attract private arts and stuff.
Yeah, cause I took that as it could be public or private.
Yeah.
And just looking at the next question, isn't it, some of this can be duplicative?
Where?
Is the next question what types of businesses? Or am I looking at the wrong one?
You're on now the combined one, yes, that'll be our next question to go to.
Okay, wait, I've
We're
got
still not done with this one, all right?
Yeah,
And I
where-
have another question too, but after
Oh,
we're
I
done
see,
with this.
I'm
4,
getting
yeah,
confused as to which is which.
well,
Which
that
is the
one's
combined
mine.
one? This one's
Combined
yours.
Which one's the combined one? Okay.
Econ survey.
Oh, it's over
That's
here.
what I thought. The 121, so we're, I see,
Four.
types of businesses, you're totally right.
yeah,
You're right. The next one does go into types.
but it doesn't include all types, it's kinda pretty specific.
It doesn't talk about arts and entertainment,
Are you talking about 4 or 3?
so 4 on this survey.
Yeah.
I guess arts and entertainment could be public or private, so that is kind of a different thought.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
But we're still on 3 though, right?
Yeah.
Right, Peter's bringing the point that we're diving deeper into 3 now with different kinds of businesses. The next question itself is
Yeah.
all
It's
about
about
That's
different
right.
businesses.
Yeah, you're
So
totally right.
that's a really
Peter,
good
yeah.
point. So maybe instead of being specific in question 3, we simply say, attract new or additional businesses.
Might be a better way to go about it. Go very broad on 3, then dive deeper on 4.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that, so, okay, so scratch these.
So scratch attract new retail or office, and don't add the additional retail restaurant, and we'll cover that in the
Question 4.
following question.
So, but would it be just attract new businesses?
Yes, businesses or commercial development,
Yeah,
however you want it.
just business development, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, attract more businesses to Litchfield or something like that.
Yeah.
So Jeremy's list, the lower tax rate's out, A's out, right?
Yeah,
Community spaces,
that's kind of covered in here, isn't it?
okay, yeah, that's okay, that's like parks. That's why I wanted to go back and make sure all the departments are handled over in 3.
Yeah, so increase
Because
the
we handled
recreation stuff
conservation,
is-
right?
Mm-hmm.
We have conservation kind of covered in there, right?
Yep.
I want to make sure parks,
Yep.
Yeah, we have open space.
where is that? Oh, that's over here though, right?
We've got improve recreational facilities,
Yeah.
and we've got preserve open space in
Yeah.
forests.
So far on the
On the Amherst one that we're
The
building
Amherst
off
one.
of.
That's-
So I
yeah.
just want to make sure, because we, for a couple of things, I want to make sure, you know, I'm thinking of all the boards, right? Conservation's
Yep.
covered, obviously, recreation.
Yep.
And when they said all the town facilities, we had library, town office, but we have others, we have, right?
I mean, we could put library, town, police.
That's what I mean, somebody might
Yeah.
think that's important. I just want to make sure we're
This-
covering
so
all the board, we're not leaving
This
anybody
question
out.
says improve town facilities, and in parentheses, it says library, town office.
Yeah, but I didn't know if they wanted the, recycling center,
Oh,
I just want to make sure we don't leave anybody out, so.
We
If
can
it has
list-
to
we
do
can-
with
we can list them
economic
all off
development,
there.
like fire and the police may, because it may attract businesses here. So, again, I just want to make sure we're not leaving anybody out, that we have conservation in here somewhere, parks.
Yep.
okay.
The only other thing I see that we don't have on Amherst version that I kind of
Probably
have
police
is,
station here.
where is it? Access to public transport.
Yeah,
Access to public
that's a big
trans-
one.
More access to public transportation. We
Yeah.
could totally add that, sure.
I don't know if it's fully feasible, but
It's worth that.
It's an important one.
I do-
That's good.
Yeah, somebody want to tell me how we're doing it?
I don't have all the answers, I just have a good question, that's it.
I have a lot of people,
Okay.
some of my students Uber driver everywhere, going back and forth to school, they do that for work.
Yeah.
They don't want a car.
Yeah.
Or somebody in town couldn't
Expensive.
have a small busing company or something. Yeah.
Yeah,
So we good on 3 now, you think?
I think so.
Are we done with all that? Because you have retail and restaurant down here, commercial development is down here.
Yep.
Where did the arts and entertainment fall into? under?
That's falling under 3.
Yeah, it's under 3. We put it
It's
in.
over here,
We
okay.
did.
Yeah.
Oh, we're keeping that on 3?
The arts and entertainment will be under 3.
Okay.
And then the more community spaces, is that
That's already
covering,
in the Amherst version.
but is that covering the conservation? I want to make sure they're okay.
No, we'll have to add on to the checkbox.
Well,
of the
for
options.
conservation, we have specifically preserve open
You
space
have
and forests.
agricultural lands,
And we have preserve
but
agricultural
I just want to
lands.
make
We
sure
got
they're
both of
good.
those.
If you want to add directly recycling center and that kind of stuff, we just add it after town offices. and stuff.
Yeah,
That's
because
all.
some people
Yeah, I'll
might,
put
the
in
police
police
station
highway
needs,
transfer.
the police station needs to be.
So just
You know, so
Kim
they
Kim will
might-
list them all out then after that.
I don't know
Yeah.
about the recycling center, but, our waste system over there. Okay, just wanna make sure we didn't leave anybody off. All right, so now you have 4, where you went into a broader, well, I won't say
So now
broader,
we're on to the
Yeah.
combined one, number
Combined.
4.
yeah.
So small business office, light manufacturing, farmer's market.
So, we discussed it with us at the selectmen's. I understand a farmer's market definitely has some economic development connotations around it. But we discussed having a farmer's market, the ordinance being more of an events than, so there's only a few types of uses of land that could be used for a farmer's market. It's gonna be agricultural, or town, could be a recreational facility. But we discussed having the permit process be more of an events type of process than an economic development. So I'm concerned if we put it here, what that does to the ordinance.
We have to see what they wanted, right?
That's a good thought. I guess I'd come back to that. I was gonna just start at the very beginning. What type of businesses would you like to see move into Litchfield? I wonder if we might wanna say what type of businesses you'd like to see expand in Litchfield?
Or just see in Litchfield.
Or grow in Litchfield, or something like that.
'Cause
Uh,
don't we have light manufacturing?
Well, that's part of what I'm thinking, but also some businesses are homegrown, and that's a good thing. Or expansion of an existing business. Either way we wanna word it, so I say move to, or expand, or grow, or whatever we wanna put. I'd probably just say expand or grow in Litchfield.
I think you're gonna add some verbs before all these, essentially.
No, just in the intro, rather than saying what type of business would you
Oh,
like to
okay,
see
just-
move
just in
into
the- just in the
Litchfield.
question, okay.
I would just say what
Gotcha.
type of business you would like to see expand in Litchfield.
Yeah.
And then that's move or grow
Yeah, yeah.
organically. I think small business office makes sense, I think light manufacturing makes sense. I'm not sure about farmer's market. I was thinking of farm stands more than farmer's market.
Yeah.
But,
Do both, farmers markets, farm stands / do them both, and then
you could put them, you
If you
could
get a
certainly say
big hit
farmers
on this,
markets
then you know you have to look at the ordinance
/
for-
farm stands, if you wanted to make them the same thought, but.
Yeah, just to see what the feedback is.
I was thinking more farmer's market based on more of a commercialized, almost like a adjustable bazaar kind of place, right? You can sell this, sell that, you can have crafts.
Yeah,
you
there
can
are a lot
have-
of towns,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? So a space that we can use year round, find some use for each season of the year, whereas instead of just having a, let's say, May through September farmer's market that's built
Oh,
into
so you're
it.
thinking about something different.
So
an
more of
event.
some kind of enclosed space. It would be some kind of commercial development that had to happen in town.
People
But-
people won't understand that.
No.
Based on how it's worded here, there's no way.
And I wouldn't call what Nashua does at City Hall. I understand that it
That's a farmer's
encourages, that's a farmer's market,
Yeah.
but it encourages, but it's run by a nonprofit. The economic development piece that's kind of tied into it is the people that are there are able to sell
Sell
their
their wares.
products.
Right.
Yeah.
It's actually goes through the special permitting process as an event.
Right. Well, like if
Makes-
you
makes sense, yeah.
if you go to Hollis, Lull Farm Stand is open year round.
Yep.
Brookdale is open year round.
That,
Those are
Right.
those are farms.
store, right.
Yeah, those are,
So maybe it's more like,
Farms.
agricultural businesses, including farm stands, farmers market,
Yeah.
whatever you want, whatever.
Yeah,
terms.
I like
Just get a
that.
pulse
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
So they're both there, and if we get a big hit on it, then maybe we look at the ordinance again, make sure.
Agricultural
Businesses.
businesses.
Because I know a lot of people would love to see Wilson Farm come back.
Oh, the great stand.
Yeah.
Great variety, great quality,
Yep.
great location.
Right. And do we want more of that kind of thing? So we want to encourage it.
So how did you word that?
Agricultural businesses including farm stands and markets.
Yeah, I like that.
You want market or farmer's market?
It's
It's
agricultural, and then it says
Yeah.
including farm stands and markets. So you're not. It's I guess I took it as inclusive.
Yeah, I
If
feel
you
the
take
same
it as
way.
inclusive, that's fine, I'm okay.
Covers it all.
All
What's
right.
a small scale shop?
Very vague
Restaurants.
verbiage. It's be any kind of
Coffee shop.
homegrown small business that develops
Mom and
something. Yeah, mom and pop shop, whatever it is. It's very vague. Could be anything.
What about Dunkin's? Was a chain, right? Is that a chain?
It's
What would you
it'd
call
still be a
that?
small shop because those are privately
Yeah.
owned
Yeah.
chains. They're
Yeah, those are franchises, right?
franchise, correct? Yeah.
Small franchises? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to, they might want a big franchise.
I mean, I just don't know if someone would know, maybe someone would know what that means, I just don't.
It's
Do you
called,
mean small scale retail?
small scale.
We actually don't have retail on this list,
No, we don't.
so we probably should.
I would take a small scale as being at the consignment store.
Yep.
Right,
Yep. So
but not a
falls in
Dunkin'
retail, yep.
Donuts, right?
So maybe we put in parentheses some examples of what we mean,
Not bad. Yeah.
right?
Bakery,
Yeah.
which we have,
Yeah.
coffee shop, or something like that, but
Because I would think of a coffee shop under restaurant, or sometimes people call it out as its own thing.
Yeah.
Coffee shops, cafes is kind of its own category.
You could have thrift store, you could have any number of, words on here to kind of fine tune the question,
But what about like a Dunkin' Donuts? That's a chain, right? Or McDonald's?
It's a chain, but it's still a small thing. But if
But
it
it's,
would fall in a
that's,
restaurant,
this sounds
though.
like quaint, like
Right.
Another
homegrown
word for
organic.
small scale.
I would probably, so when shops, I think the intent was to mean retail, so we might just say retail.
Yeah, just say small retail.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Small
small
retail.
retail. And then put in parentheses some examples, and then we might want to put, coffee shops and cafes as its own category.
So small brick and mortar retail shop.
Right.
Yeah.
Beyond small scale, and I don't know if I've heard it in Litchfield, but I know in another town I was working in, people, I would commonly hear, I can't buy a pair of socks in this town. They didn't care if it was small scale or not, right? They wanted a place where they could actually buy convenience items.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Right. They didn't want to have to drive to Nashua to buy socks.
I still hear people say they
Don't
want a
blame 'em.
I still hear people saying they want a supermarket back in town.
Oh, God, no.
But I do hear that. Why do I go
Really?
20 minutes out and
Right.
20 minutes back?
But putting grocery store on this list would not be a bad thing.
No, I've heard people want it, which was Small Tube, I think was, right? Didn't they have one in there?
Based on the design of that building, probably something like
So
that.
some, they,
It was,
They might wanna
the intent at one point.
Yeah.
but I thought that there was one in there,
It might have been.
yeah.
I don't know if it ever opened. I know that
I
it was
thought
the
there
intent.
was.
though.
I thought it was like
Might have been.
like the old Susie's Market type of.
Was it?
Yeah, you know, you were here.
Yeah.
Old price chopper or something.
Yeah, I don't think adding grocery store is a
was it?
bad thing.
Never took off.
No.
Was it, why do you think?
I don't think people in the town at that point were excited about it. I think they'd like to go into the big city to do their shopping.
Yeah.
And now, the demographics have changed. I mean, people want McDonald's every 2 miles. I mean, so I think things have changed on that side. I think it would be great to have a grocery store up at the north end.
Do you recall how long ago it was actually when it was open?
Oh, it was a long
It's a long time ago.
A long time ago?
time, 30 years maybe?
30 years?
Right.
Yeah,
And a few thousand people ago.
Yeah, right.
yeah, exactly.
Would be a
Right.
bad idea.
I mean, I think adding grocery store on this list would make sense. I also think adding pharmacy to the list would make sense, because I know there's some people who'd love to have that. I don't know that it's realistic, but there's people who would, like to have a
Yeah.
pharmacy.
And sometimes if you go to a grocery store, you can
You
get
can
a
also combine those.
pharmacy.
You can combine those two.
Yeah.
Or that health stop, that little, what do they call those health stops?
Convenient care type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, urgent care,
Yeah.
convenient care. Yep.
That would be a really good thing to go for.
That's a good thing to put on the list too, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Urgent care facility.
Yeah, that would be.
And those things all matter, because when we were doing the rezoning in the north end, we had a lot of conversation in that district about what should we allow, what shouldn't we allow, and what kind of size limits should we put in. And we specifically looked at, like, how big is CVS typically, and we did all this Googling to figure out how big some of these things were, and we tried to set the limit on size to
Okay.
exclude some things and allow some things, but we didn't do that based on a survey of what the community wanted necessarily.
Right, just based on the averages of Walmarts versus CVS's and stuff like that.
Exactly, we didn't want big box,
Yeah.
so
Gotcha. Jay, do any of those strike you as being possible sewer issues as far as capacity, private versus public?
potentially, yes. A
Which
grocery
ones?
store of
Yeah.
any size is difficult
Yeah.
without sewer. Now, it's not impossible, you can
Okay.
do it. Walmart in Amherst is on a septic system.
It is, okay.
Yeah,
The whole
so,
parking lot probably?
yeah, probably. It's possible to do things on septic with a lot of,
Okay.
An urgent care.
you could do
Urgent
urgent
care
care,
shouldn't
it's just a
have that much
bathroom.
usage, quite honestly.
Yeah, a hospital you couldn't do,
Hospital will be a different story, yeah.
right.
But I'm wondering if like an urgent care doesn't help with municipal resources too, because it could provide, depending on what the issue is, if Litchfield, fire is responding.
Could,
They typically don't have the wackiest hours availability, but they
yeah.
have, daytime hours available. It's not like an emergency room.
It's
I've
not
seen
like
most
it's-
of them go till about 8.
Some do, but the staff is usually very minimal. So,
Yeah, they're not big.
yeah, they don't be taking any kind of serious injuries in town.
They are convenient.
They are convenience. So,
Well, some of the CVS's and the other competitors, they're laying off.
Yeah, they are.
And the people that are pharmacists or maybe the assistants are doing more medical there, right? Getting your shots, you know, that kind of
They're
thing,
doing
right?
that
So they're taking, I don't want to say they're taking on the urgent care role, but they're taking on more responsibility.
Everybody's doing shots. The grocery stores are doing
Yeah.
shots. It's like, yeah.
Alright, so we added, convenient MD stuff, we added grocery store. What else did we add there?
I throw restaurant
Pharmacy,
cafe,
urgent
we
care.
have to do- Yeah, pharmacy.
We have businesses in the North End now that aren't listed here.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't listed,
Transportation
we haven't listed
businesses,
everything.
right?
It's just,
We have entertainment up there with the Spooky World,
we
right?
have commercial
So
recreation.
we
Commercial,
want
yeah.
arts
We
and,
might want more of that. I'm just saying, we have
certainly
some that
could.
aren't on this list, they might want more. I know there's an other, but, so we have a transportation company, sort of. I don't know what we wanna
Cafes.
call
Transportation.
it. Well, orange trucks.
Orange trucks.
Transport dirt?
Well, I'm just saying, it goes back and forth, yeah. I don't know if you want more of it, but I'm just saying, you're mentioning other ones, there are ones that are there. All right, so we,
Contractors' yards, is that what you mean?
it's not exactly light manufacturing, but I'm not sure what I'd call it. It's a service, right? What he provides, obviously making the roads and everything. I don't know, I don't know if you call it transportation or
I wouldn't call it transportation, cause people will
Well-
think about,
infrastructure.
they'll think about like buses like in Nashville.
yeah.
I mean, it would be contractors, that's what it is, it's a contractor. Construction, business or something, you could say.
And I'm not sure how,
What are we trying to say?
so we have a big business up there, Continental. He's here. Maybe there's gonna be more of that, I don't know. But what would that fall under for a business code?
I call
You know,
it-
it doesn't fall under light
Uh,
manufacturing.
I
Industrial?
call it,
That'd be under
I call it a
industrial.
construction.
That's industrial, isn't it?
I don't know.
The sand pit's gotta be industrial.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the sand pit's an excavation. The business is, it's, zoning wise, you typically call that a contractor's yard.
Yeah, we'd have to.
So you could certainly add that as a category.
In case people want to expand it. I just don't want to leave anybody out. We have Spooky World up there. And we have a little mini mart up there, right? We have the grocery, we have a little grocery store
Yeah, I was gonna
there.
say, you could add convenience store.
What do we call those little strip malls? What do you call those?
Strip
Well,
malls, right?
Strip malls.
yeah,
So I would call a convenience store small retail.
You could.
I mean,
I guess it comes back to when you say small retail, do you mean mom and pops? Do you mean cute little shops?
Physically
Or
small or
do you mean
small
7-Eleven?
yeah.
Right.
When I think of convenience store, I think more of a 7-Eleven,
right.
which I would never
Absolutely.
think of as a, small shop, even if it's physically small. You know what I mean? In my head, I'm thinking cute little bookstore, arts and crafts store.
You got that Hot Wheels store
So
there now.
if you put convenience store,
Is up there.
what's-
Bakery.
That kind of has a, I don't know. I would
Yeah.
say when you get into neighborhoods where you already have a mom and pop, convenience store would bring significant conversation.
Oh, for sure. I mean, nowadays, typically, it's either a 7-Eleven or it's the gas
Cumberland
station. The gas
Farms or-
stations are
yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
It's a Cumberland Farms, and they all sell gas. It's
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think from my side that you gotta think about this town. Like, most of your commercial stuff, you're talking North End, okay? Where would you put another convenience store? You've already got one there now, so.
True.
You can't put it down in Cutler Road area.
That's true.
I mean, there's a commercial place, industrial place out there, but you're probably not gonna put something in that area.
Now, 102 would be your only other area, and I don't know that you need it there either. So, yeah, we can take it out. We don't have to put it in.
Yeah, I don't,
I'm thinking about it, people say, yeah, I want another convenience store, it's like, okay, where are we gonna put it? If you get 85% of people want a convenience store, where are you gonna put it now?
Right.
We have two, right? We have one on 102.
and then you have the one that's going down on
11, you have the
Charles
actual-
Bancroft.
Yeah, we got the one that's going in now.
Yeah.
We have,
So, yeah, we
the
could leave it out.
Litchfield Mart, right?
Mm-hmm.
You may not wanna open a can of worms.
Right.
You can't deliver.
Oh, good point. I like it.
And the other thing is like, you've got small scale individual shops, so I think a bakery would be a small scale store. So either, my suggestion is either you isolate, you identify each one of these separately, or you have that one small scale individual shop category.
Yeah,
And put parentheses
I think I'd go with breaking some of these out because people don't think of them all together.
Right.
That's
If we
right.
break them out and leave the other as an option too.
And then leave the
That'll
other.
give them somewhere to write something else in that we may have forgotten.
Right, I mean, you're not gonna call out everything under the sun, but to me, a bakery's a different thought, and that's often on my list of things I want, so,
So
Veterinarian.
the question is, we leave town for certain things. We leave town to buy food, go to a bank.
Yep.
What's the other reason we
A
got work?
bank would be a good one.
Work, whatever.
Can we
You
get
can do a
one?
lot of that
Not
online.
eat pizza.
you could put a bank, and
Restaurants
you
that
could
deliver.
also put pet care, and then in parentheses, you could put veterinarian,
Yeah.
grooming,
Pet boarding.
boarding.
I can't believe there isn't one here already.
102.
It is?
Fur and Feathers.
I'm gonna go back.
It is Litchfield, isn't it?
Where's Fur and Feathers?
Up on 102.
Yeah. It's
Fur and Feathers.
It's just barely in
It's
town.
next
yeah.
to Lobster Potter. Or
What do
well,
they-
that's
what
up
do
there.
they do?
It's across from the
They
bakery.
do grooming
Oh,
for
I gotta
pets,
go over
and they
there.
also can board
Yeah,
pets.
it's right on the line.
Yeah.
I think the area behind that
Near the
building
boats.
is in Hudson.
Okay.
She's up in
Right.
the back, up in the hill. You can see her.
Well, if you look at the,
That's what I think of the scale shops, right?
we're
the
kind of
bakeries.
shooting in the dark, but if you look at the Amherst survey, they did put in a list.
Yeah, they did right here.
And so I guess the question is,
That's really split more.
all right, see, there's your excavation and construction materials, they've got bakery, bed and breakfast,
Oh, yeah.
coffee shop. They did put in farmer's market, so they put in this whole list of things. And kind of, again, we keep going around and around, maybe you do wanna put in a list like this.
Right, but most of the stuff on this list is all retail they put on here for the most part.
Yeah,
Not extent, it's retail. It's almost all retail stuff.
that's right.
So do we want to get that specific?
Well, they do put industrial parks,
There's a few oddballs: manufacturing,
right, excavation and construction materials.
professional offices. You know, there's a few things that are odd, but
Right, but I guess it just comes down to, we've been talking about a lot of specifics. Do we wanna get, here's a list, does that list make sense?
Yeah.
That's a good list.
But E here, back on 4E, you can have small shops and then larger shops, right?
And
There
they
can be
say,
combinations.
check all that apply.
Right,
You know how you have small
So-
scale shop?
yeah, they've got it here too, they still say, they also have small scale individual shops.
But they can also have larger scale too, which means like a little strip mall, right?
Right.
So if you say small scale and, I don't know, medium or larger scale shops, 4, then it breaks down into these here.
Well, yeah, except that if we're concerned that people aren't gonna think about all these things.
Oh, no, I'd still do 4. I'd still do this 4 over here, like you want.
Yeah.
So that's, I'm just saying the higher level category is small shops
Oh,
or
cause they've
larger
got small scale
shops.
shops, you could say shopping center,
Yeah, so
slash
we have,
strip mall
so
or
we have
something.
small
Oh,
and
I
large.
like 4 here. Why, like, I feel like we're trying to reinvent the wheel.
Hey, let's just use this list.
Well, let's make sure that everything over here is over here again, right?
we can do that.
So, they'll almost, you know, the high level ones we just did, A through F, for number 4 on the draft for today. They're thinking of scrapping that and going over to the Amherst 4.
Yep.
I mean, I think
Are all
one-
of these here?
I think one way or another, they're all here.
Yeah, I
small
mean, you
business
have
office.
manufacturing, if you want light manufacturing, we
You
could
could say
put
light manufacturing
before
instead
it,
of just
but-
manufacturing, that's right. But they've got large scale shopping center, they've got small scale individual
Perfect,
shops.
so that gets rid of
they've
those.
got-
They have restaurants there?
Yes, restaurants and
Okay,
cafes.
so the only one missing is the farmer market. Oh, there it is,
Nope.
farmer
Oh,
market.
There's
Yeah.
microbrewery, winery.
All right,
Yeah,
I would say one thing though. The last one they have on this checklist says youth recreation.
yeah.
I might want to add in private youth recreation, like indoor facilities that isn't owned by the town.
like
Some over town?
Isn't owned by the town.
yeah, like a trampoline park.
Trampoline park, indoor, in a dome,
Yeah.
whatever. You know, a big warehouse building, a dome building. Someone can bring in
Yeah, I would agree.
recreation to the
I would
town.
say
That's
private.
not a town issue to deal with.
So you want in parentheses,
Private.
I say
private?
private, yeah,
Okay.
or commercial, whatever you want to.
Yeah,
however you want to
commercial.
phrase
I'd
it.
say
Commercial would be
commercial.
good, yeah.
Commercial?
Yeah.
Commercial rec, I'd call it commercial recreation.
I would
Yeah.
too, because if not, I'm thinking travel teams here that aren't,
Anything, anyone could use this. This is not town owned.
exactly.
Right.
That's right.
Because when I sign them, Not for basketball, is it traveling or is it gonna stay here? Yeah, it's one of those.
Okay, that's
So I like
awesome.
that wording.
That works.
All right, so this one's gone,
Alright, so
and this
do
one
you,
stays. Number
And then
5,
we've got
do we
5.
want the first part of 4? Should the town be seeking new businesses in Litchfield? Yes, maybe, unsure. If yes, maybe what type?
Well,
I don't know.
Do we want that, or do
Wait
we
for that
wanna
one, but-
just go right into?
I'd go right into it myself.
I would say,
was our
yeah,
first question
which
before?
new businesses should the town be seeking?
That's a good phrase, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
check all that apply.
Yeah.
so how we had our question 1 here. Are you in favor of economic development, right?
Yeah, that
Correct.
stays.
And then
Yeah.
this one, you said, should the town be seeking new businesses? Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna
'cause
drop
kinda
that part of
separates
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just
drop
gonna
that.
say which.
'Cause we're already in the economic survey to begin with, so let's.
Yep.
So if they say no, they branch out of
We're
here.
not even
Alright.
asking them that, we're just gonna say which new businesses, you know, should
This
the
is
town seek?
4, this is 5.
If they're thinking no,
I
they
like
don't
that.
check anything off at all. Move
Right,
on.
they can just
Yeah,
say
no, I like
Skip
that.
the question.
Still another column for nothing.
nothing.
But we're getting a lot of feedback.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct. Alright, so we're good on that one.
Okay,
And
then where are we?
So now on the
5?
combined, we've got 5, which is the based on your earlier answer. What do you feel is the single most needed thing for Litchfield to promote economic development?
I have a question on 4 though, before we move on.
Okay.
So I like what you did. If they say yes, it comes down to here. If they say no, don't you wanna know why?
I think we were saying that we would get rid of that
We're
part of
dropping the
question.
yes, no, maybe part.
You're only saying if yes,
No.
should the town seek, right?
We were saying which types of businesses should Litchfield seek to attract?
But what if they don't want any?
They check
Then they
nothing
don't
off.
check off anything.
Well, I don't know. I think it should be no, and we should find out why. I don't know.
We could do one at the bottom says, if no, why?
Yeah, I can leave it open-ended or
We could
something.
do that if you wanna do.
Don't we already have?
I don't, what was the first question again?
Okay, well then,
Are you in-
I mean, if you want people to have the option to say no, then we should just keep the first part of the Amher's question.
Yeah, I'd keep the first part.
Okay.
Okay.
And then if it's
Keep-
no, maybe it's a branch, right? If it's yes, you're gonna ask these questions.
And then if
But
it's
if
no,
no, why?
just put a line
Why?
in that says why.
Right,
Yeah, okay, we could do that.
okay. Okay.
What options does maybe unsure get?
Yeah, I don't know if that should be.
Oh, wait, so dropped it all together.
What is maybe an unsure
Well,
go?
if you're, maybe you're unsure, you know what, I think what we just do is we add a comment section in the end, and
Yeah.
then they can comment.
So let's drop maybe unsure, just add a comment section at the end.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yes or
Pretty
no?
much. Yes or no?
Yes
Yes or no,
You got it.
right.
Your 2 branches, that's it.
Okay.
So number 5.
No indecisiveness here.
No,
Just cut you off.
We
So
need,
what's-
we need
what's
answers, we need data back.
Oh, the 5 that we had was based on your earlier answers, what do you feel is the single most needed thing for Litchfield to promote economic development? And that's an open-ended.
I think that's hard.
It's hard?
I think it's hard.
Of course it is.
I don't like thing.
What's the single most thing? So,
It's the single most important thing.
To promote.
It is hard. It's an open-ended question.
Based on your earlier
I
answers.
I think we need Don King. That's what we need.
Do you think it's the most
What do we need?
important?
Don King. Promoter, boxer promoter? No. My jokes are terrible tonight, apparently.
I'm just not sure. I don't know. I don't know what you're gonna get
It
to
is a
that.
challenging question. It requires some thought, and parsing through that's gonna be quite the effort, so.
It's the only open question we have right now, right? Because we changed the first one, so.
Yeah, the rest are all pretty much easy, yeah.
Okay, keep that then.
Do you wanna move that to the end?
You want to say needed thing or urgent
I
or?
would say, I would move it after, if we're gonna keep it, I would move it after 6. Because that's asking where,
Yeah.
and then you have
Yeah.
an open-ended question at the end.
Okay.
And I don't know. Based on your earlier answers,
Right.
I think you're asking. They've given all the. They've chosen all these things.
Like-
Now they got to go back and go. Well, all these things I chose. What's a single?
We could drop part of that
Most
phrase, we
needed
could
thing.
drop the based on early answers, cause by moving to the last question, they've done they've already had the thought process, so now just what is most important to you for us to go forward.
So
Someday, you know?
you're saying on number 4, if they pick 7 things, that's what we're calling a thing,
Yeah.
which is the most important one? You're not making them go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right?
No, so they're saying what is the most important thing to promote economic development?
Needed to promote.
To promote it.
So that kind of relates, that's a similar thought to, if you go to the Amherst one, it's their question 6, but they gave you a list.
Oh, yes, yeah, okay.
All right, scratch 5, maybe?
Let's see
Following
here.
strategies. That's even 6 is if we were gonna, because some people, right, don't want it.
Not bad, actually. Yeah,
Yeah,
So 5 can go, right, over here? So 5 on the draft is gone?
Well, yeah, it could be, maybe
Yeah.
replaced with 6 on the other
Yeah.
draft
Yeah.
here.
I think 6 will help people choose an actual answer.
It gets you thinking.
Fill it out.
Yeah.
I think that might go, this is a world of quick.
Right.
I don't think they're gonna give thought to it. I think the purpose behind it's really good. I don't think people are gonna do it.
So don't put an
Yeah.
open-ended
'Cause they
question
check
in the
all
middle of
other
it.
stuff off. They figure, what,
Yeah.
You're right. They won't
Right.
want to have to write something.
Yeah.
You just want to leave it at the end for like the catch-all question of like, if there's anything else you want to share with us.
Yeah.
That's always a good, any other comments?
Yeah.
Great
That's a
point.
good, always good to do, because if they're dying to say something.
Right.
Right.
But question 6 on the other survey we might want to use.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good, actually, Jay. That's,
I would get, well,
So what happened? We're gonna skip.
I would get rid of attract new businesses, because I think it's how, not what. How, like this is asking you how we should do it.
Mm-hmm.
So didn't we talk before about having maybe a second generation of this survey of this,
we did.
where that's where I thought we might get into the what should we do.
You think I'm
Right now we're
Right.
just like, should we like do this? And if we get feedback says yes, in particular on a couple things, then the next engagement would be about what should we
do
do?
that.
We could do it that way.
You know,
I think that would be good, because I think then we can give them, based on the details provided in the first survey, which showed this,
That makes sense.
we'd like to ask you
Agreed.
additional questions on how,
At the how, thinking that's what.
yeah.
Right, I think that's a good idea.
And same with 5, that's not this time either.
So, does that mean question 6 on this also comes out?
Which one?
It comes out for now, yeah.
Yeah,
for now.
I think 5 and 6 come off.
6 can get modified later on, survey number 2,
That's right. I think it's exactly
Yeah.
right. I think that makes a lot of sense.
based on our feedback from survey 1.
Exactly. We've got yeah, it makes it also a nice and short survey.
Yeah,
And we don't use this either, but request the map from NRPC.
Right, not right
Not
now.
right now.
right.
It's a great
I
idea.
do too. That is a good idea. So what about 7? Same, wait? Which
Yeah.
of the following?
Wait.
Yep.
Yeah.
okay.
Well, what's your
Yeah.
connection to the town, and would you be interested?
Yeah, I like
I think
those.
we keep these. We just get rid of 6 on this for now, which is
Okay.
where. So,
Yeah.
so we'll get rid of the how and the where, and we'll do that later. I think that's a good strategy.
Wait, surveys. A good survey takes a lot of time to make.
It does.
Yes.
Yeah, it does.
Well, there's a lot of thought that goes into getting what you really want out of it, so.
Right,
I like it. I like the fact that it's really, really short, too.
so I can kind of move things over and then send it out to everybody, and everybody can give their comments, so that maybe we can get this. I mean, it'd be nice if we could get it out. Do we have a meeting scheduled for February?
There's no way we're gonna get it for deliberative, right?
That's what I'm thinking. It would be
Because
really nice
If we
if,
could just have a poster with a QR code, it would be really, really nice.
but I'd need your approval within the, and
Wait, you mean this coming Saturday? For town deliver?
Do we have to post it publicly?
Nah,
No way.
I like the optimism, but I don't,
Yeah, we still have to-
I don't share it entirely.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of secretly thanking you, Peter, because I'm thinking I'm not.
Yeah, you're right, you're right. There's no way.
But what about vote?
Can you have it done in March?
Yeah, could we
So-
have it done for the 12th?
Are you
Yeah,
allowed?
we definitely
All
have,
right.
we gotta
Yeah,
fine
yeah,
tune by
yeah,
March.
Yeah, but are you allowed to hand out anything during voting?
We could put posters around.
Yeah, with the QR code just saying, and we can have someone there
Oh,
just
boy.
saying,
No, there's a legal, if you know,
Oh, boy.
solicitation.
Yeah, no, there's gonna be some residents that are gonna
No, you're right.
challenge that.
I'm gonna say we're trying to promote something. we're
Yeah.
trying- Yes. you're
Yeah.
right. Okay, can't do that either.
Yeah. What's the next event? There isn't one.
It'll just have to be social media posters at the usual locations.
And we
It's
have.
okay, it'll
we-
work.
We
Do
have
you have
a
a
big screen
Survey
at the
Monkey account?
facility, right?
I could, yeah, I could do it.
So if I switch them all up in the committee and I send it to you, someone can stick it in
Yes.
Survey?
And then we could create a QR code. And a poster.
Well, we need to look at it and verify. we like
Oh,
it.
of
Yeah.
course. of
Yeah,
course.
yeah,
But
I'm gonna-
Once we're ready, then we can get it done.
So
that
that's
way.
why I think, it would be really important to make sure that, and I'm not sure, I lost track on what we were trying to do with the meetings. Sorry.
so
there's so many
Kim, sorry guys, back to
lost.
the election stuff here. We can't have something outside of the building? I know it can't be in the building, but we can't be outside the building?
They get permission from the moderator before.
Yeah,
Have a
you
table set up.
definitely want to do that. I would say because of an issue we had at primary day, please stay away from it. Right? Yeah.
Just wanted a physical way to get the word out. People are going there no matter what, if they're gonna be involved in the town, most likely.
Right.
So it's a great spot for us to be, and if we're not there, we totally miss out.
But the recycling center has the big sign now, right? The
But not everyone,
electronic
not everyone
sign.
has that though. Not everyone goes there.
But we'll
Nor do they
have-
read that sign.
But we have we can put it on cable, right? You can just say
We can
go,
put it on cable, we
We
can
can-
put it on
the social
um,
media,
social media.
on websites. Yeah,
Yeah,
It can go anywhere. I'm just trying to get the fact that
Yeah,
people are
website.
physically gonna go to vote. They're literally a captive audience. They cannot escape. They have to walk by you. Having signs would be a great thing, and this, if we could do it. If we can't do it, we can't do it, but.
Have a
Yeah.
sign and just have them there. You don't have to have somebody standing there, just let people pick them up.
it's tough.
Well, the weather could be bad for all we
It's
know.
tough.
We just
It's-
can't be in the building, so.
Even the color you wear, I mean, everything.
yeah.
Don't dress
I'll
red.
go there wearing
don't dress
green.
I mean,
No.
no, I'm just saying, they really watch.
I'll wear purple, how about that?
The
Right in the middle.
Historical Society wanted to sell things, and they made them go outside, special case in the
I
snow.
think I think
Just
you
hard.
could be
Because you can't be in
outside.
the area, you can't be.
So-
You can't be in the polling area itself.
The New Hampshire, well, so it's a little different. So the firefighters can't be there unless they are there as the nonprofit group of the firefighters. They can't be there as town
Who they're representing,
employees.
yeah.
They can be there as the Professional Firefighters Association.
What do we fall under as this committee?
You're on a town committee.
Town committee.
Yeah,
Right, so it's the town.
yeah, it's the town.
Can you stand on the sidewalk at the school?
Can we have a public citizen stand outside?
You know what I would say? The best thing for us to do is to have Terry ask a question to the AG's office.
That'd probably be a good idea.
That's the best thing.
Just because
If they say you can do it, then that's pretty
Okay.
unchallengeable.
Okay.
Sounds good, let's do that then. Let's ask the question.
All right, I'll have Terry ask the question. We're just doing a
And
survey.
if we can do it, how is our best way to do said task?
Right, outside, can we give pamphlets or
Whatever it
can
is.
we just have a QR code?
Right. Okay.
If they shifts at the dump too,
Yeah, whatever it takes.
that's the QR code. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you gonna print them as well as send a QR code?
Yeah, we usually do hard copies as well, right?
That aren't gonna do yours.
If we don't do a,
Will they click on a link on social media or an email?
No. We had that with the Energy Commission. They came into the town
Will
hall,
they send
right?
it back though?
I think
Yes.
they will.
Yeah, we can always print some out.
Yeah.
print
some
Actually, younger people will do the option of the QR, they like doing that kind of stuff, but I think it's the people who are the older generation, some of them don't even have cell phones or
Right.
smartphones.
Yeah.
They're not gonna figure out how to do QR.
yeah, I had that complaint with the website survey.
If we
Then
print
we
some
should
good
do
sized
some-
yard
we
signs
should
with
do
the
some
QR
print
codes
ones.
on, and then print some hard copies to give out. We should cover all our
We'll do
bases.
some print ones,
Yeah.
and maybe we can have some print ones in town hall too.
Some kind of laminated sign that's not gonna break down, easy for people to scan and drive off.
If you do that, you're gonna print it, you're gonna put like, please return to.
Exactly. In big bold letters.
Yeah, we'll add a return.
Please give back to Kim
Yeah.
ASAP.
And to your point, I know I did a senior survey specifically. We had drop boxes at the library, we had a drop box at town hall, and people did do it.
Yeah,
Good idea.
This is short, so you could fill it out right
That's a
there.
good
and
idea.
drop
Put it at the
it in.
library.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good point.
I love that idea. Put it at the library. People will pick them up
Library.
there.
Can we leave it by the, heck is it?
If we have to
By
ask.
Carrie's
first.
office out front there too? For registration, stuff
Yeah.
like that?
Yeah.
You know?
so library, town hall, we could actually have a drop-off box at the transfer station,
Yes, we could.
right? Saturday, you're dropping off your dump, drop off your trash truck. Just don't put it in.
Because when you look at this survey, it'll be short enough where you don't have to take it home. Just
Right.
do it.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, I think
It'll take you a couple minutes.
Can you put the QR
maybe
code
we
on
can
the
get it on
too,
one,
just in
one
case they want to
page.
pass it to somebody?
Absolutely.
If I can put these, like, 4 into 2 columns, I think maybe we can get 1 page.
And if it's not one page front, it's front and back.
Right. Yeah.
So either
Yeah.
way, it's easy. So that's a great idea.
What do we have for a budget on this project, by the way? Do we have a budget for this project? We pay for printing this stuff out, signs.
We didn't
Yeah.
discuss it yet, but
Don't worry about
All right, sounds good.
can you put the QR code
Falls
on?
under the selectman's office.
If you put
Sounds
the
good.
QR code on the
Sounds like a-
paper, they can pass it off to one of their other friends to do it as well, right?
Yeah.
If it's there.
Sure.
But I don't know if you have enough real estate if you're trying to get it all on one.
We'll see what we can do. I think on the first page here, by the, I mean, you could even fit a QR code, you know, up in the corner. They don't have to be that large.
I have my car outside, so it's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
They have a
If you need a
QR
mortgage, go
code.
scan my car. You're good to go.
Everybody's connected. It's crazy.
I'm not putting a QR code on my car, but
I feel like we accomplished something.
I do too.
Did
So
everything.
now when are we meeting? So I'll
So
put it all to-
vacation week, we could be in trouble this week, this month,
When is vacation week?
last week of February.
I don't
a
think
leap
we
year.
have one on the calendar, do we?
We don't, but
28th?
I will not be around.
Yeah, we do, the 28th.
We do, okay.
Is that
Do
when
we
the-
need to move it?
We do have, yeah.
It's a Wednesday, the 28th.
I won't be around, but I don't know about you guys.
I won't be able to make the 28th either.
Okay, so we're moving it, cause I don't think we'll have a quorum.
Yeah.
Cause if it's vacation week, that makes me think that there are others that will be gone.
Probably.
So,
Can we
Not
push to
me,
the
by
first
the
week?
way, I'll be here.
We do,
Can we go 1 week earlier or 1 week later?
not, for me at least, and that, you know, it's not critical for that I'd be here.
You can't go one before because NRPC executive.
Right.
Okay.
I could do the 22nd.
22nd
It's a Thursday.
is, I know that
I could do that.
we can do that because budget committee is done until, so February 22nd is budget committee on here, but I know they said March, right?
Yeah.
So that will come off, so we could do that.
Okay, I can do the
The
22nd.
22nd,
Works for me.
Can you do
That'd be great.
6:30?
That work
let
for
me
you,
just
Kim?
check, 22nd?
2/22.
I was answering, somebody chimed in and said where the grocery store was. Thank you.
I'm
Thank you.
going to
Let me just get the calendar here.
change this. Maybe. Edit, no.
22nd. All right, we have NRPC on the 21st, right?
Yeah.
All right, 22nd, sure.
22nd.
The usual time.
Yeah. Right? 6:30.
So, let me, I'll go to that Board of
Change.
Selectmen.
In date,
So we're doing,
22nd. Okay. Hopefully you all get this. And did it? It did. Changed on the calendar. I just got it, so hopefully I'll get it. So 22nd, 6:30 at Town Hall.
All right.
So, do you want me to send you an email to get on the agenda for the Board of Selectmen if they want to have members join this committee,
For
for this committee here? Or if they want to leave it as a workshop? Right now, remember how we just have
Right, to
board
add a
members
s-
here? Do we want to
To add a
add
citizen at
a
large.
citizen?
oh,
Or do they want to keep it?
yeah, so we don't have a meeting till the 12th.
Okay, I'll send you an email on
Yeah.
that. All right.
And perhaps we wanna add a couple
Yep.
in
Yeah.
case
Just in case.
And it-
Good idea.
others,
Yeah, ask to add 2 or 3 seats, just in case.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna put this together, I'm gonna send it out, I'm gonna ask Terry to find out about March 12th, what we need to do. And then after everyone's looked at it, it can go to Jay and Jay will do his
Okay.
magic.
Do we have
That's
any
good.
homework for this next month?
Minutes. Everyone look at the minutes.
Review the minutes.
We can, so the next meeting we can, on the 22nd, we can approve all
So
the
attendance
minutes.
and read minutes, there we go.
Good idea.
Yeah.
There'll be 3 sets, so.
All right, so we did everything on the agenda. We didn't finalize this, or I think we're pretty close to finalizing it at this point. We have
Yeah,
a
yeah, I think
we had a
we're-
draft, but now we
I
have
think we're as
a
close
second
as we
draft.
can be.
And then we discussed implementation. That was on the agenda, so that's done. Any other items or other business?
Yeah.
Don't hear any? Okay. So the next agenda items we already spoke about. So you're asking about homework is the minutes, right? All 3. And then this one will be the 4th.
I need Hudson's 2 and 3.
Yeah, that would be,
Oh, all right. I'll send them to you.
Okay, thank you.
yep.
All right.
All right. So, everybody have anything else they would like to add? All right. Entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay. Second. Jeremy, very good. And Peter, second. All right. Good night, everybody. Be safe. Thank you. That's turning out nice. Yeah. And I like the where and the whens and the what's being